So certain shoes can be beneficial for all three lifts, and in today's video we're going to talk about squat shoes. We're going to talk about what makes a good squat shoe and what squat shoe should you buy. Now the things that make for a good squat shoe are the heel height, the heel density, the grip of the shoe, and how comfortable the shoe is on your foot. Squats are already pretty challenging and you don't want to increase that by wearing an uncomfortable shoe. Like, just imagine how much more of a burden it would be to squat if you had a shoe that was crushing your toes. And having really tight shoes makes it kind of hard to find balance in your feet, right? So for me, for example, when I squat, I like to spread my toes and externally screw my feet into the ground. Like, I imagine I am digging my feet into the ground externally. It helps me keep balance when I squat, and it helps track my knees in the right position. But if you have really tight shoes, it's gonna be really hard to do that. So you definitely don't want an uncomfortable squat shoe. Now I know it's kind of hard to actually, feel what the shoe fits like on your foot because you're buying it online most of the time. So this is why you need to understand your foot, how it's shaped, if it's wide, if it's narrow, and you need to read reviews that go into detail how the shoe fits on people's foot. So for grip, you definitely don't want a very slippery shoe as you're squatting. Why did it take me a while to say that? Fam, I'm on lag. So good grip on a shoe helps your feet stay in place as you're squatting. So if you're squatting with a shoe that doesn't have good grip to it, your feet are more likely to move as you're squatting, which is something that you don't want. This makes the lift a lot harder because you're imbalanced, and it could lead to a muscular imbalance, which could lead to an injury. Which sucks! So for example, my Rated Aces shoes, yes, they're fly, but they're terrible for squatting because the bottom of the shoe, it doesn't have that good traction. I mean, it's okay for walking, which is what they're intended for, but for constantly squatting, nah, they don't hold up that well. So as you're squatting, you're creating a lot of force and a lot of torsion on your foot, right? So if you're creating all that pressure, you need something that's gonna hold up with that. And if you have a thick, soft heel, this is gonna make squatting a lot harder. So squats are a lot about stability, and if the base of your feet are not that stable, it's gonna be really hard to move the weight properly. Because as you're coming down trying to achieve a straight bar path, if the bottom of your feet is constantly moving and very unstable, it's gonna feel a little weird coming down. Like, you're gonna feel a little shaky, a little unbalanced. And when you press that maximal force out the bottom of the hole, it might pitch you in a different direction because the shoe is literally giving in. And the main thing you want to avoid is a thick, soft heel. So I know some wrestling shoes and even Sable Delo shoes, they have a softer heel, but it's really thin, so you're not gonna notice that much compression. Where something like my Aces shoes, it's a thick, soft heel, so it's gonna be a lot of compression during the squat. Yes, it would even be a better situation if it was a thin, hard heel, but mainly, you just wanna avoid a thick, soft heel for your shoes to squat in. Now, probably the thing people talk about the most when it comes to squat shoes are the elevated heel height. How high is the heel height? Well, essentially, what a heel height on a squat shoe does, it helps you hit certain positions better. Not better positions better, certain positions better. Heel height typically ranges from 0 to even a whole inch high. So like Converses, they have no heel height, they're flat. While the shoes I use, Adidas Powerlifting 3.1, they have a heel height of 0.60. And typically what tends to happen is the higher the heel height, the easier it is to stay upright and the more emphasis is put on your quads. This is what happens most of the time. Picking the right heel height for you depends on a lot of things. It depends on your biomechanics, your squat stance, what type of squat you do, so you do high bar, do you low bar. But essentially, it takes time to find the right heel height that works well for you. So for me, for example, when I started squatting more seriously, I went to the Nike Roma Leos. These have a heel height of 0.75 inches. And it felt okay, but after a while, I was developing some knee pain. So then I decided to go to a flat shoe like Converses that had no heel height. It was good, but I found it hard to hit depth. Then I went to the Adidas Powerlift series. Started off with the 2.0s and I moved on to 3.0s, but that whole series of shoe, that heel height, 0.60 inches, that's wonderful for me. And as you can see, that took a lot of time. It took about a year and a half to figure all that out. So now that we understand what makes a good squat shoe, yes, I had to change shirts. I had to record this on a different day because I wasn't satisfied with what I made. Let's talk about the squat shoe the complete beginner should use. So someone who never really squatted all that much, what shoes should they use? My philosophy is it doesn't make sense to spend a lot of money on a better quality squat shoe if you still don't understand how to squat, because regardless of what shoe you wear, if it's like a Nike Roma Leos or a wrestling shoe, it's not gonna fix your squat. And these shoes could cost anywhere from $90 to $250. So it doesn't make sense to throw away all that money when you still don't understand how to squat properly. I think the complete beginner should start off with a shoe like Converses or Vans. So those type of shoes, they're flat, they have some grip to it, the heel doesn't give all that much, and it's a decent shoe to start off with. And those shoes usually cost around anywhere from $35 to $60. So I think those are pretty good shoes to start off with. And you never know, some people when they start off with Converses, they stick with it throughout their whole powerlifting career. But let's say, you know, after you're done squatting Converses for about 5 to 6 months, because that's around a good amount of time for you to kind of understand what squats are, how they feel, how to perform them. Let's say you want to upgrade. Which shoes would I recommend? Well, for flats, as of right now, I think the best flat shoes to squat with are wrestling shoes. Wrestling shoes tend to be really durable, have good grip. Sometimes the heel is hard, but whatever wrestling shoe you decide to buy, if you want to squat in that, make sure you read the reviews. But as of right now, wrestling shoes are the best. And if you want a squat shoe with a small heel height, the best I think right now are the Adidas Powerlifts 3.1s. I did a full review on that, so I'll leave that in the description box below. But let's say you want to go a little higher, so with the heel heights that are 0.75 inches, the two top ones as of right now are the Nike Romaleos and the Adi Powers. And they're pretty much the same shoe. The only difference is that the Nike Romaleos cater to people with wider feet, and the Adi Powers cater to people with narrow feet. But besides that, they're both really solid shoes. Well guys, that's it for the video. If you guys like the video, like the fucking video. And if you have any questions, just leave them down in the comment box below. Share, subscribe. Thank you guys for watching, and stay strong, my friends.